Welcome back to Fire Emblem Echoes. Today, we're going back to DLC land. Though this time, we're actually going to be playing something a little different. These aren't the grinding maps. These are actually going to be DLC maps for something you probably don't have access to. That's right, Fire Emblem Cipher. It's the Cipher Legends Map 1. Here comes Celica.
I was about to say, why'd you leave this in? Then Celica came on screen. I'm like, oh, that's why.
This is a little tiny loading screen animation.
Randall? Randall, wake up already!
Fresh pottage.
Randall, for the love of all that is good and holy, will you please wake up?
Morning, kid.
Try again, you lazy oaf. It's past noon. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and it's a beautiful day. So now you are gonna come with me, because we have to look for the others.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time since we got separated, right? Yuzu and Shade could be anywhere by now.
How could they get lost like this? Unbelievable. I know Yuzu can take care of herself, but Shade? Well, you know how she gets when things start to go sideways. She's probably hyperventilating into a paper bag as we speak. Which means we need to get a move on. You ready, Randall? Get up! Get up, get up, get up!
All right, I'm up. Look at me, being so very up. You sure can be a handful, kid. You know that? And I'm too old for this sleeping outdoors for weeks at a time thing. Tonight, we're gonna stay in a proper inn with a working roof and a soft bed.
Uh-huh. And who exactly is paying for this little dream of yours?
Why, me, of course. Ta-da!
Holy crap! Where did you get all this money?
Oh, Lady Luck may have kissed my dice at a nearby village last night.
You were on a gambling bender? I suppose that's why I couldn't wake you up this morning?
Pretty much, yeah.
But that was our money, Randall! What were you going to do if the dice didn't roll your way?
You'll lose your eye teeth if you go into a game with that mindset.
I'll put my fist through your eye teeth, mister!
Hey, take it easy. Look, I won big, so everyone's happy. Let's just drop it. Besides, it's not like you've never dipped a toe in the speculative arts. What about all the gold you won at that foreign arena? I'd call that gambling.
Yeah, maybe. But I knew what I was getting into. Plus, the arena takes skill. I'm not just tossing dice on a tavern floor. And in the end, I won my battles fairly. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
My thoughts exactly. Though I wouldn't go so far as to say I won fairly.
What? Randall?
Yeah, I see it. Seems like they've got us surrounded. Must be those sore losers from last night. Probably mad I took them for everything they had. Well, that and the whole cheating thing. Should have known they wouldn't just let us strut out of town.
Randall, I swear to the gods!
Look out! Ow! What happened to talking things out like gentlemen?
Are you okay, Randall?
I'll live. I don't like what those archers are armed with. You need to go, Emma. Run.
But what about you?
I'll catch up.
But you're hurt.
Just go, damn it.
Okay.
Alright, and so we don't particularly have an introduction for our characters because either group can tackle the DLC. And as such, we just kind of happen upon this scene. So, yeah, we've got a mission where we have to go help Randall, who is currently surrounded. Much to his own faults.
We have to go save Fire Emblem Sionji.
Damn out. Wow, he's been reduced to 0 HP.
It's mostly just looks, personality-wise. He's not very much like Sayonji at all. They're both kind of smug, and that's about it.
Alright, so today, amongst support conversations that'll be coming up, and these scenes...
Hey, you there! Excuse me! Please, help me! My name is Emma, and my friend over there is surrounded by ruffians! Which, to be honest, he probably deserves, but he's not a bad person, even though he frequently gives that impression. Please save him. I don't want him to die. Thank you. I knew you wouldn't be the type to heaven, huh? Randall is right over there.
Damn. Last attack spooked my horse. Poor fella sprained an ankle. Gods are really out to punish me for rolling the bones last night.
Oh, no. I don't think he can move. We have to rescue him right now.
So yes. Outside of, supports and these conversations, we're gonna be talking about Fire Emblem card games today. So, once Emma's done talking about how she's not going to approach the guys that'll kill her, which makes sense. So, bit of context. There have actually been 2 Fire Emblem trading card games, neither of which has ever made it to the West. There was the original Fire Emblem trading card game, which covered the Mystery of the Emblem, Genealogy of the Holy War, and Thracia games, which you would expect would be, published in the 90s. No, the original Fire Emblem TCG ran from 2001 to 2004 and had a total of 6 series.
What? I've known about this game, but everything about it just looks like it existed at the time those games existed.
Question for you, old friend.
Shoot!
You and me are past tiptoeing around this kind of thing, so you lost your whole family, right?
Yeah, I guess I did.
And yet you still fight for this world. That's quite impressive. Of course, you owe the priestess girl, but most men would give up regardless.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll admit, there are times when the pain's so bad it leaves me numb. That's because I was so damn happy when I was with him. It's all an even balance, I got good enough for all the bad. Anyway, I avenged him, so there's no point in hanging on to hate.
I'm impressed, Valbar.
Damn, that's so sad. Anyway, I'm about to murder this motherfucker. I was kind of hoping he would crit there. I didn't remember if he did. Anyway, though, yeah, so... the trading card game was actually published by NTT Publishing, which is one of those companies that just does a fuck ton of various stuff, a lot of, music releases. They actually did a lot of the, Squaresoft OSTs in the past. They were also the producers of Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals, the OVA sequel to Final Fantasy V. Yeah, they produced it, which isn't a huge role in it, but they're still there, which is weird.
May?
Huh? Oh, hey, Bowie. What's shaking?
Do you not want to fight? If this is too painful for you, you can just say so. It's all right, really.
No, this is great. Fighting lets me practice everything I've learned. Plus, it's fun to help Celica.
I see. Wait, no I don't. If that's how you feel, what was all that talk about before?
Dadoy! I just said what I was thinking. It's a surprise to be fighting actual real-life people, that's all.
Oh, well, now I feel like an idiot for worrying.
Dang, Bowie. So, the main illustrator for the Fire Emblem trading card game was Katsuyoshi Koya, though apparently Mayuma Hirota was an illustrator for Series 1. Obviously, it wasn't the one guy for the whole of the game series, but this one was fairly consistent with its art style, and it mostly relied on the same general art style. Which did make it pretty good as, like, official art for the SNES games. Like, if you look up images of those characters, like, anyone from those 3, technically 4, because Mystery of the Emblem's 2 games, 3 games, then yeah, it's probably going to be art from the trading card game.
Saw that coming a mile away.
Is Randall all right? The suspense is killing me.
Not as much as those archers would. But anyway, yeah, like you were saying, yeah, it is extremely 90s anime. Like, for being released around the point where the Game Boy Advance games were released, it really does capture the feel of the old art style.
Which is weird, because it's definitely distinct, because, like, the Fire Emblem art from that time period is so weird. Like, in a way, it makes sense this from 2001, because it's kind of like a revision. Like, this is going forward, this is what these characters are going to look like from now on.
Like, if these games were released on the Game Boy Advance, then this would probably be closer to the art style they would release it with.
Yeah, it still looks a little older than the GBA. But I don't know, it's just so weird to think about.
So Fire Emblem Cipher, on the other hand, ran from 2015 to 2020, so one more year than the Fire Emblem trading card game. However, it did have 22 series. This one was actually done by Intelligent Systems, so, you know, the company that makes Fire Emblem actually had a hand in doing the game. I don't need to tell you what Intelligent Systems has done. You're watching one of the things right now. But yeah, like I said before, Cipher never actually released in the West, which is really weird. Because, like, it's free money right there. Like, hi, Americans also like trading card games. Part of me is glad that it didn't get released because, look, I have looked at trading card games and gone, oh, those look neat, I kind of want to do those, but then I don't. But a Fire Emblem-based one, on the other hand, that I would probably be a bit more tempted to get into.
Yeah, that would have been the time period where, like, Western hype for Fire Emblem was at its peak.
Yeah, no, because it was released alongside, like, as a promotion for Fates, you know, largely at the start, so, you know, lot of hype around then a dip, and then Three Houses came back, and it was back up. And then the card game stopped. A few years later.
I personally think the post-Awakening pre-Fates hype was a level of, like, Western Fire Emblem fandom we're not going to see again for a very long time, if ever. Because, like, a ton of people who had never touched Fire Emblem before were like, I'll check out this Fire Emblem Awakening. Oh, this is a really good strategy RPG for the 3DS.
They still coming? Come on, gods, you don't have to give me this much grief. Well, I suppose I had a good run.
So anyway, yeah, though, like, it's definitely a different type of hype, but, like, Three Houses has managed to maintain, like, presence in communities for a very long time. Like, people are still thinking about it to this day. Thankfully, the discourse has died down, so it's mostly just people going, hey, I really love these characters, and I will make art of them, and that's rad.
I'm up for anything.
Edelgard and Byleth have joined Ike and Soren in the realms of queer couples that people will never stop making fan art of.
I can't draw her, that would be me.
Well, aren't you nice?
So, anyway, had all that trading card game talk, so then that begs the question, who the heck are Emma and Randall? Well, another thing you have to understand is, Fire Emblem spin-offs really like adding original characters. This is true for Fire Emblem Heroes and Fire Emblem Warriors. And I'm just talking about like the base OCs for Fire Emblem Heroes, Alphonse and Sharina. In that case, there's a whole lot of OCs and Heroes that we can get into at any other point that's not this one, but yeah. And the same is true for Fire Emblem Cipher. There are cards of these characters, and they also appear in promotional material, sort of in-character advertisement kind of thing. You know, here the characters talking about Fire Emblem Cipher. So, yeah, again, like you said earlier, like, it's weird that we actually got this particular DLC because we didn't get Fire Emblem Cipher. Oh god, that's gonna hurt. So anyway, in particular, Emma herself is actually based on, okay. So, while some of the OCs from the other spin-offs do have, like, their own original world, these characters actually originally are, like, OCs from other Fire Emblem realms, so...
Looks like those dumb archers have been dispatched. That means it's Emma's turn to race to the rescue.
Time to steal some experience. Oops. And here comes Emma with 12 crit. Goodbye.
Totally worth the effort.
So anyway, though, yeah, Emma here actually hails from Hoshido. A lot of the characters who wound up in the Cipher Legends DLC were characters based in either Hoshido or Nor, the countries from the unnamed landmass in Fire Emblem Fates. Because Fates is bad at world building, so we don't need to know what the continent is named. Just Hoshido and Nor, that's all that's important. Anyway, though, that being said, Randall is actually the exception to this. Randall actually hails from Alib, the continent from the, I guess, Blade games, Binding Blade and Blazing Blade for the Game Boy Advance. Which, the Pauldron style is a little dissimilar, but otherwise, I can look at his armor and say, yeah, no, that looks kind of like a Alib Knight. This guy could just be Sane's weird dad, I can see that.
I'm pretty strong, you know.
Sane's weird uncle that Sane doesn't tell people about, because if they knew about him, they'd replace him.
Kent's just like, I want to be best friends with this old man.
Uncle Randall, this is why I told you not to follow me anywhere.
I'm not following you, I'm just walking forward, and there you are. There are 4 characters overall that were in Cipher Legends, which covers about half of the original characters from the trading card game. So the rest of them are Alice, Vol'jin, Niam, and Poe. Those 4 characters will not be making an appearance in this game at all. I also don't know if they get mentioned either. I've not seen all the support conversations between the DLC characters just yet.
I think you just accidentally told your audience you didn't watch Les Mis, because you pronounced it Valjean?
Sure. I mean, I don't know what it's pronounced like.
It's not Valjean?
Okay.
As in Jean Valjean, the main character of Les Mis?
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know he was from Fire Emblem France, because he's actually probably from Yggdrasil.
That could be Fire Emblem France. Yggdrasil could very much be Fire Emblem Europe, now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, I guess, but I thought it was, like, just Norse, though. There's a lot of, like, there's notably a lot... Actually, I say there's notably a lot of Norse. I feel like if any game does that the most, though, it is probably Fire Emblem Heroes. They take a lot of Nordic names.
Yeah.
Especially the ones you probably can't pronounce.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, well, Jean is from Yggdrasil, as is maybe Alice. I couldn't find what area she was attributed to. However, characters seem to be kind of, like, paired up, as it were. Though Emma is not actually usually paired up with Randall. She's actually the counterpart of Shade, the other character we'll be seeing in the next episode. So Alice and Valjean go together, so if I had to guess, she might also be Yggdrasil. As for the other two, Niam is probably from Tellius, and Poe is actually from Fodlan. So, you know, they could have had DLC of her in Three Houses. They didn't, but she could have been there.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's just about it for Fire Emblem Cipher. It did end about 2 years ago by this point, in its 22nd series, and at no point have they ever said they were going to bring it westward, so I'm safe.
So I do want to mention my favorite example of a Western release accidentally bringing over things that the West never got. Obviously this wasn't an accident, but it was a weird decision to translate these DLC maps when we weren't getting the thing they were promoting.
With you here, how can we
So
lose?
I think it was Power Rangers Dino Charge used Japanese footage from an ad that was promoting one of the crossover films between Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. And they forgot to remove Kamen Rider.
Dang, who's that cool guy?
So Kamen Rider Wizard existed in Western media for 2 seconds.
Who is this man? He's a mystery.
And then he just vanished into the ether.
And most people who've watched Kamen Rider would say that's a good thing, because a lot of people don't particularly like Wizard.
I want to withhold judgment until I've actually seen Wizard.
Oh yeah, same. I'm not gonna talk about it. I mean, he looks cool.
I don't want to talk shit about it, then actually watch the series, realize that I like it, and then have a recording of me talking shit about it exist forever.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Cipher does seem pretty rad though. Like, you can find the art online. Unlike the original trading card game, they have a lot of different artists doing art for each card, as the Pokemon trading card game does, or if your only point of reference is Fire Emblem, like Fire Emblem Hero does. I mean, I'm fond of the practice. They get to commission artists, and various artists get to do cool stuff. It's rad.
Yeah. I do, in general, have a real fondness for that 90s anime art style.
Oh yeah, it looks very nice.
It's like, while I do appreciate the variety of art styles, if they wanted to have a consistent one, I would rather they make it look like that.
I'm stuck between, well, you know, the 90s art style fits very well for those particular games. The SNES era just is perfect for that particular feeling. But also, it would kind of be cool to see 90s style like any other game after it. I do kind of want to, I want to see the Three Houses cast in that old art style.
Don't you want to see every female character with massive floof in their hair?
Oh, absolutely, I love floof hair. Case in point, here's Jenny. She's adorable. But yeah, if Katsuyoshi Koya wants to come back to do some art, that'd be great. So anyway, as for the chapter itself, I've not talked much about the map. We're at the hard part of it, because there's just reinforcements, and they alternate mages and cavaliers, and it's very tough because that's just 2 different damage types you have to deal with. Worse off, Emma has decided she very much wants to be in the way, and I don't particularly care for that. She keeps getting front and center. It's not helping me at all. But yeah, it's actually a relatively tough chapter. I did do this on my first go, so, you know, if this seems a bit sloppy, that's why. This was my first time with this chapter, but little tricky, not impossible. Guys who keep hanging out on mountains, making it hard to hit them. Did manage to nail 49% twice over, though, so good going there, Leon. That's why you're my favorite.
So really hoping you get a crit, though.
Yeah. If there's one thing Leon's good at, it's crits. To be fair, that's also Emma's thing. I should also point out that while one of them isn't really joining us in the fights, both these characters are actually pretty well promoted. Randall's a paladin, and Emma's a Sky Knight? Or Falcon Knight, rather, sorry. Sky Knight is like her actual class in the card game, because she's, you know, Hoshido-based, so... But yeah, those are the second to last promotions, not including the DLC. Actually, I think Falcon Knight's the best promotion for the flyer classes. Because I know Paladin has Gold Knights. So, Paladin isn't the best there.
So earlier you said that you could throw these characters with either group. So is there a reason you went with Celica for this pairing?
So, Randall is definitely the more important one here. So far we've not gotten any Cavaliers, so Randall fits pretty well into the group. Emma a little less so. We don't have any flyers right now, but again... We've seen Paula and Katria on this route. You can probably... Paula is on the map right now. You can probably guess we might be getting some Pegasus Knights on this route. That being said, Emma is pretty solid. The other reason is... I think the other group goes with Alm's party very well, though. We'll be seeing what their deal is. Either one could go to either route and fit in pretty well, especially early on when they do have that promotion advantage.
Thanks.
But yeah, I think Randall would definitely be more redundant on Alm's route, because Alm gets a bunch of Cavaliers.
And also gets, like, enough Pegasus Knights. Like, Celica's hurting for horses, but Alm isn't hurting for Pegasus Knights.
Yeah, like, even if I only had Claire... Claire's pretty good, but I have Claire and Faye, so if you need someone in the sky, you're good. I'm fine.
Totally worth the effort.
That the last one? Well, thank the gods. But I was worm's food that time for sure.
Once again, God has failed to kill me on this day.
That was a close call. Is everyone all right?
That was a rough battle, but May has killed so many men. Saber's not feeling great. Understandable. He took the worst beating.
You the one they call Celica? Thank you for helping us out. I'm Randall, a wandering knight of sorts. My friends and I have been busy traveling from continent to continent. Would have been a shame to have that adventure cut short.
Randall, how's that wound?
That little scratch? Come on, kid, how fragile do you think I am? How are you doing?
I'm fine. Although, I don't like when you lie to me like that.
What are you going on about?
You said you would catch up to me, but you and your horse were both hurt. You almost died, Randall. So why weren't you honest with me from the start?
'Cause you would have stayed. And I've got no interest in leading a nice young kid to the hereafter.
Stop grinning. It's not funny.
Yeah, I know.
You make all of these childish decisions without consulting anyone. Like your little gambling spree last night. We're supposed to be on the same side, you know? You should have talked to me. I don't think you realize how much it hurts when you leave us out. When you gamble with our money, or worse, with your life, it... You're such a poop, Randall.
Hey, come on, kid. I wasn't trying to hurt you. All right. You know what? From now on, I'll tell you everything. No more Randall goes rogue.
You mean it?
Cross my heart.
Okay. And you have to stop gambling. It only causes trouble for everyone.
Sure, kid. You got it. No more gambling.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously. In fact, you can bet on it. I'm glad I keep you around, kid.
Yeah, we do make a pretty good team.
So, hey, boss. Milady. Listen, I got a proposition for you. What say you let Emma and me fight in your army? I mean, we got a debt to repay, and it seems like a good way to help out.
Plus, we need your help. I mean, sure, Randall and I have traveled the world, but we're still strangers to this land.
And yeah, I know you caught us on something of a rough day. But we all know which end of the sword goes in the bad guy. So what do you say?
Thank you so much!
I promise we won't let you down.
Right then, off we go. The wide world is waiting.
Alright, and that's it for the first Cipher Legends map. Next time we'll tackle the second one. With Alm, of course. But wait, there's more. We only got to see one of these characters in action, and I mean, if you have to pay for them, we might as well check out how good they are. And well, they are. Starting with Emma, the character we actually got to see in this chapter, she's just overall pretty solid. Nothing too surprising from a Pegasus Knight, but like, she excels in being a Pegasus Knight. So, whichever team recruits her, if your Pegasus Knights feel lacking somehow, Emma's got you covered. She's got good skill, speed, luck, and, well, resistance is kind of her forte in comparison to everyone else. With a 10% resistance growth rate? Yeah, no, she can actually potentially get more resistance. But hey, what if your luck is bad? What then? What if you don't get that 10% anyway? Well, good news, she starts with 14 resistance. She has more resistance than some characters will ever see right from the get-go, and she can actually get more. So, if you need a mage killer, Emma's right here. She's also not terrible in the HP department either. In comparison to just her resistance, she's maybe a little flimsy, and of course, her defense isn't phenomenal, but she's not tissue paper either. But again, excellent mage killer. But not only are you getting Emma herself as a DLC character, she also comes with an exclusive weapon, the Trainee's Lance. Now, despite the fact that it is associated with Emma, technically speaking, anyone else can use it, but it's pretty good in Emma's hands. The main thing about it is, despite being a lance made for a Pegasus Knight, it doesn't actually have any extra crits. That being said, Emma's got that covered. You don't need the Trainee's Lance for more crit. It's also not got a lot of might either. That's the part that doesn't help her. But it does have 100 in hit, so like, you're gonna be very accurate with it. you will probably not miss, which is, if you're going to give it to anyone else, probably the reason you're going to want it. Of course, the other reason you might want it is its combat art, which is, again, unique to this DLC. You get the solo triangle attack. Now, despite the name, it doesn't quite work like the actual triangle attack, which I'll discuss later. Instead, it's actually closer to the Astra skill, if you're familiar with that. Basically, it just has you hit 3 times. It doesn't give you any other sort of stat boosts though, so it's pretty much just, hey, I would like to attack 3 times in a row, which does make it pretty powerful. Like, at 5 HP at a cost, that's not really a big deal. Considering how likely it is that you'll just shut down an enemy with the use of solo triangle attack, it's absolutely worth it, provided you're not in a big group. Otherwise, maybe 5 HP isn't the best cost if a bunch of people are about to just beat the ever-loving shit out of you. And now for the guy we couldn't play as. It's Randall. Randall is just a real good paladin. Of course, cavaliers can vary a bit in what they're actually skilled at. Now, you might be asking, what's Randall skilled at? The answer is yes. In a game with not great stat growths, Randall has some pretty solid stat growths. In any other Fire Emblem game, maybe these numbers would be a touch lacking, but here, no. He absolutely has standout attack and some really good skill and speed. His HP is also pretty solid, and defense, for being one of his weaker stats, is not terrible. Really, of course, his biggest weakness is his lack of luck, which, oof. Can't believe he went gambling with a 15% growth rate. Oh, and of course, it should go without saying, but he's got nothing for resistance. His starting resistance isn't terrible, but that's all it's ever going to be. So I wouldn't exactly call that a lucky number 7. Either way though, he's a great physical unit, so throw him at enemies, he'll kinda just shred them without taking too much damage himself. As for his unique weapon, it is the Wayward Lance. Once again, that can be used by anyone, but it's pretty good for him. This one, however, has some pretty solid stats, with 3 might, a little better. 70 hit, but 20 crits. Yeah, no, unlike the Trainee's Lance, you're here for the crits. He also, however, gets the special combat art, Heaven or Hell. Now, Heaven or Hell, as the name suggests, is a bit of a risky move. It does take off an entire 30 hits. However, it's a 2-strike attack, which has an extra 30 crits. So yeah, it's a bit of a gamble, which again, Randall shouldn't be doing, but it can be extremely powerful. Honestly though, maybe Randall and Emma should just switch weapons, like, I feel Randall could really make use of solo triangle attack. I mean, 3 attacks in a row, that's pretty good! And Emma, considering she's normally pretty good at hitting, I don't think Heaven or Hell would lower her odds too much. Either way though, in short, solid characters who also come with really solid weapons that, even if you don't like the characters a lot, you can make use of the weapons. They're pretty good, and they've got unique skills you won't get anywhere else. And you know, the best part is, I don't have to debate whether or not this is actually worth $4, because it's not like you'll be able to buy it anyway. Wait, no, that's bad from a game preservation standpoint. Hold up. Hey, Nintendo? Why are you getting rid of the servers? Why would you? You're Nintendo, you can afford them, it's fine. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter that much. After all, it'll still be available in other ways. Wink. You didn't hear that from me, though. Anyway, episode's over. Let's get out of here before the authorities arrive.